Welcome one and all to the Wandering Society. I am Simon at Wandering DM. We are Saturday afternoon. We're starting quite a bit later than usual, but that is my bad. We'll get on the way with the game in a second, but before we do so, I just want to shout out very quickly our sponsors: Magen Press, Art Alsorian Games, Found Familiar, Roll20, and of course Die Hard Dice. You can check them all. Their links are down below, and they will also appear in chat over the course of our game today. Without further ado, let's introduce the cast and get this game going. We'll start with the person to my right on the overlay. We're going to go clockwise, so we'll start with Mr. Enino. Hi, how are you?
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and in this game I play Eddie Kahele. Also uses he, him pronouns. He is the super serious Scion of the Monkey King. Legit, above board in all things.
Keeping in the tradition of telling the truth, as always, we're going to move on to Hannah. Who are you and who are you playing?
I am Hannah, and in this game I am playing Kieran Kearney, he, him, who is the adorable and blameless Scion of Loki.
So we're off to a very honest start. We'll move on to the second row on the overlay with Hawkeye. Hi, how are you?
I am doing fine. I'm Kentucky Hawkeye, and I am playing Finbar, he, him. And in keeping with the theme here, instead of doing two truths and a lie, we'll do two lies and a truth. And I am the one who's trying to keep everybody focused on what we're actually supposed to be doing here, trying to gather all these other people up.
And last but not least, we have Lynn. Hi, how are you? Who are you playing? You're muted.
Am I? I am.
Not anymore.
There we go. There we go. Hi, I'm Lynn. I'm playing I'm she, her, and I'm playing Di Higa, daughter of Inari, also she, her, who can fight anybody on the planet. Absolutely.
And with this game of three lies and a truth, I guess, we're gonna pick back up. We're actually gonna pick back up a week after the events of our last. Oh, thank you, Renegade. We'll pick up a week after the events of our last sessions that occurred before our holiday break here at the Society. So just to recap very quickly what happened, there was this cruise ship in the Mediterranean Sea. And the ship was more or less a front for some sort of artifact smuggling operation. The ship would dock in on the island of Malta and unload some of their cargo while their passengers were just having a good time being tourists. The cargo would be moved to a warehouse, this sort of very shoddy, old and disused building near the docks, where the crates would just be piled up there, waiting for perhaps someone to come get them. You weren't really sure who would come or what the next step for these crates would be, though when you and... Actually, it began with Emis. Emis and her friends were on the trail of these artifact smugglers. And it is only after Emis used her powers to send a devastating storm over Malta that started with wind, gales of you know, hurricane proportions that tore the warehouse down. You saw that on the news in America, teleported to Malta to investigate, and discovered her and her ring of friends. And you teamed up to try to figure out what exactly was going on, because some of these crates were oddly marked with a black and red rooster, while others remained unmarked. You followed the a clue that you had found that led to catacombs under the island. And while there, yes, you did find artifacts, but Emis decided that your relationship had come to an end, and took it upon herself to make everyone on Malta pay for what they have done, and thus sent a almost like a monsoon on the island, coupled with earthquakes. It was a disaster of epic proportions, to say the least. And what are you doing, kitty? And that led to all of you leaving the island through your magical portal back home. Now we're going to skip over a week. In the meantime, one of the things that you will have been made aware of is that on the news, pretty much every channel is talking about the disaster in Malta. And how a rogue storm that is blamed for the most part on climate change, but even you know, weather specialists are baffled as to how this could have been born. It's almost impossible. There's a fraction of a percentile that it could happen. And it would have normally been accompanied by other weather phenomenon that were absent in this case. So it's pretty much baffling everyone around the world. The casualties were in the triple digits. There is a lot of people that died under, you know, crumbling buildings. Many were injured. And the problem with being on an island where something occurs to everyone on the island is that you need to evacuate the injured. And that's rather hard to do when winds and hail and everything prevent even helicopters or ships getting to the island. It's a somber time for people around the Mediterranean. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are lost. A lot of people are grieving. But of Emis and her cult, you have heard or seen nothing. Like, none of their pictures showed up as casualties. You didn't see them like walk out in the background of a shot while reporters were filming on the island. Who knows what happened to her? And that was a week ago. I would like to know, dear godlings, aside from maybe doom scrolling the news, was there anything else that you did over the course of that week?
Finbar, being the academic that he is, he's probably doing everything he can to try to research what the maybe the origins or where that what kind of pantheon that rooster might come from on the symbol that was on those boxes.
This is something that would take you maybe a better part of a week. We'll see. We'll see about that. Give me a. We'll go with this, and we'll say how. Okay, so I figure you're mostly just researching.
Yeah, trying to see if by finding out where it comes from, that might lead us to who's creating it.
In this case, that would be an intellect plus occult check.
Okay.
And depending on how many successes you get,
2 successes.
2 successes. So if you look at the in our handouts, there's the procedural handout that has the list of what you can do with your successes. So I will give you the answer, that's for sure, for 1 success, and then with the other one you can choose one of the 4 options. The pantheon that this symbol comes from is actually the... Okay, let me just make sure it's the right one. Yes. It's the Teotl pantheon of Mexico.
Okay.
Or what we would...
Mexico Aztec.
Yeah, what we would have called the Aztec pantheon.
Yes, ancient Aztecs then. Okay, so... Alright, so where do I look to see what my 4 choices are, what I can do with the other one?
In the handouts, so you know where the character sheets are?
Yep.
There's, it's in the handouts at the bottom, procedurals.
Oh, okay, it's all the way down here. It's on this one. Okay.
While you look that up, I'm just going to try to fix this lighting situation 2 seconds because... Wow, I was glowing and not in the nice sense.
$8.75.
I couldn't even see my face. There we go.
All right, so extra clue, interpretation, Q&A, or inspiration. Let's see. Okay, so what do I want to go with? Extra clue, interpretation, Q&A, or inspiration? Oh, I guess let's go for extra clue.
For an extra clue, all right. I will tell you that as a clue, this symbol belongs to Chanteco.
Okay.
Also called She Who Dwells in the House. And is the goddess of the hearth, volcanoes, and all things precious.
To go here with she who dwells in the house. Okay. Interesting. Interesting that they would choose her symbol. But not if callings are including sage, they would be trying to gather more information. But if they're, I guess it depends on what they're doing with these after they're stealing them. Are they reselling them or are they stockpiling? I guess is what we would need to probably figure out from there. Okay. So I guess he would probably spend any other time he has probably checking to see if there's been any uptick in people, not necessarily just in increase in Aztec worship or research, or maybe if not specifically into Chantico herself.
Okay. We'll get back to that in a moment. Let's see with another one of the godlings. Anything that you've spent the last couple of days on?
Remind me again what we came back through the portal with, because I remember we managed to take some things with us.
I believe you managed to take a crate with you.
And it's got one of the seals. Did we break the seal on it? Or
yeah, was that one unbroken when we brought it through?
I'm trying to remember.
It was one of the unopened boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should probably open it, right? See what's inside?
With a great deal of care and trepidation, yes.
Care, that's my specialty.
And the rest of us will be trepidatious over your actions.
If you want to open this box, I'm gonna need to know what you do with about the symbol.
Well, we learned our lesson on that one, right? We have to face it away from us when we're opening the box.
And as clear an area as possible.
So you open it inside in a very crowded space, I take it?
Yeah, right in the middle of the living room.
Yeah, that works. So you turn the box around, crack it open. Again, exactly like what happened last time. There's this like gout of flame that comes out from the fox, from the rooster, and the symbol sort of becomes like half erased after it's been used. The crate itself, I mean, it's just a wooden crate, so long as you have like a crowbar or enough strength, you can easily open it. And inside, you find in multiple bubble wrapped packages. How many are there total? Give me 2 seconds. I didn't check that number.
There are a lot in.
Uh, 24 packages.
Yeah, that. Oof.
And they're
That's
mostly the size of, I'd say, like half a shoebox each.
Thoughts?
Well, I mean, I hope they're not bad because we have a lot of them. Right?
Mm-hmm. So each one of them is basically this like little box, like cardboard box, if you will, wrapped in bubble wrap.
Mm-hmm. So let's unwrap them. Take the bubble wrap off.
Do I detect any magic coming off of these?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Like the whole box.
Cool.
The whole box. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Let's take the bubble wrap off.
See what's in them.
So you take one, you remove the bubble wrap from it, and inside is a that's what I'm looking for. It's a softball-sized stone. Kind of flat, like oblong shaped, if you will. So that two of its surfaces are mostly flat. And when you look at the stone itself, it's a black stone. I would say if you knew your stuff, and Simon doesn't really, it's basalt. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. Basalt. It's either pronunciation I've heard used.
Okay. And on one surface, you see that it has a symbol painted on it. Looks like rather old paint, or maybe chalk, but if you rub it, it doesn't erase, it doesn't smear or anything. And it's an arrow. Or the rune Tyr in ancient Norse.
All right, let's take a look.
Tiwas, I think. Yeah, Tiwas.
Yeah.
So we have a box full of rocks.
Magic rocks.
Well, are they all? We've only opened up one, correct? So far. All right, let's open up another one, see if it matches or if it's different.
The second one that you open, again, same thing, oblong, basalt. That's fine. And the symbol that you find on it is this sort of an X with two vertical lines on each side.
Okay.
Or, as it's also known as, the rune Dagaz.
Which would be a different pantheon.
No, that's also a Futhark rune.
Is there any way to tell what kind of magic these are imbued with? Or is it just like general sensation of magic?
Your knack, Hawkeye.
Let me look.
Allow you to know?
Presence of magic. Let me look.
I remember
Yeah, it's only a yes or a no.
Yeah, it's either it's a binary on or off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I tried to talk to them and it was the same thing with like magic things, just like nothing.
All right. In looking at these two, the flattened edges, do they look like these things are made to be stackable?
No. While I say that's that they're flat, let's say they're flat-ish.
Flattish, but not flat enough that you could easily like stack them in a pattern or something like that.
No, that's it. It's more like if you were to put them down on the ground, chances are they wouldn't wobble or if they would wobble just a little bit.
But they won't go. They won't go anywhere. But if you tried to stack them on top of each other, they'd get flop. They'd probably flip flop off each other. Okay, so there goes that idea of what this could have, what these might be for. There evidently must be all individual, unless I suppose we need to see what all of them are.
All right, let's unwrap the rest.
Yeah, let's go for the rest of them.
You unwrap the other 22 runes of the Futhark alphabet. You've got basically the entire like runic alphabet painted on stones.
Interesting. A teaching tool, or else each one has a specific use, one or the other.
Or it could just be home decor.
Yeah, if you're going to do home decor, why would you have this kind of magic and do to all of them, though?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm speculating as I'm talking. But I'm endued with the mindset that nothing happens accidentally, especially when it comes to the magics.
I mean, there's got to be a reason why they were, treated so valuably, collector's items packed like this. I mean, it can't just be because they're old.
Yeah. There's probably antiquity value to them, but there's got to be more than that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have this kind of a seal on it, especially since they're emanating some sort of magical presence or ability.
Antique box of rocks.
For now, until we know more what we have, that's basically what we've got. A box of magical rocks. Until we find out what they're for.
We can put them with the magical lion pelt and put them next to the magical suit of armor.
Didn't you also bring some sort of bauble? Didn't you have like a magic orb? Or am I misremembering?
Oh my, that was a while back. I remember someone picking up the orb, but I don't remember what happened to it.
I thought Dee just put it in her backpack.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. I can put that next to that as well. Just collection of magical things. We have no idea what half of them do. But I mean, it's probably safer that it's with us, right?
One would hope, anyway.
The orb is also magical.
We just have like a vaguely magical pile now, and we have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah,
we just like label them. Like
you've got a bunch of special rocks, but
we just like we tape like we put like a post-it note with question mark with things if we don't understand what they do.
Yeah, until we can find someone who can tell us a little bit more about what these can actually do, or we find out on our own one way or another. Hopefully they just stay here in stasis.
I mean, it's as secure as it can be, right? I mean, it's really hard to break in here, right?
From what you all have told me, yes. But with the type of beings that we've been dealing with, I'm chalking nothing to being impossible or impenetrable.
That globe that we got that was magical, it activated and did something special when it was when it reacted to the blood of the pantheon that it was associated with. Do you think there's any possibility that these might be similar. Any of these?
Possible.
I mean, yeah, it's always possible, although
Probability, who knows? But there's always the realm of possibility.
Is there any way to investigate to figure out what pantheon, if there's a pantheon that the orb that D has is associated with?
That would require, and it's a good thing we did a skip of 1 week, that would require a couple of days of research, because the orb, compared to everything else, it's like a brass sphere, but there's nothing else about it. There's no markings, no like engravings on it, or nothing of the sort. So it's rather difficult to pinpoint
That's
what
always
it is
worrying.
exactly. But yes, it is quite possible if you want to go ahead and do some research. It will require basically, let's go with 1 check a day, and you would require a total of 7 successes.
ooh,
Yeah, it's an endeavor.
In what skills?
That would normally go with if
Oh,
I
I-
had to guess, intellect and occult.
Looked like I did with my check.
yeah.
Though if you give me a reasonable explanation of why you should use other skills or attributes, I mean, it depends on how you're researching it. I'm going with like the basic, cracking open books or going on the internet. But there are, as many different ways as there are characters.
He
I mean,
would-
that seems like work.
Hmm.
So
How
Finbar,
are
if
you-
you want to do the research.
Sure, let me see what I can see. I'll see what I can dig up here.
Finbar, do you want to use the I have pretty good setup in here. And she like points to her room. It's like if you want to just use that as well.
Certainly. Anything that'll help us get it.
It
Sooner
might
the
be
better.
it might she says that, but it might not be conducive to how maybe Finbar works, because like the second she opens the door, it just sounds like a server farm in there. It's like it's very loud. And it's a mess.
Well, at that, he reaches in his pocket, pulls out a pair of foam earplugs, rolls them up, puts them in his ears, and then he sits down to do his work. All right, here we go.
Just step over the cans and stuff like that. Yep.
All right, first day, 3 successes.
All right.
Hey.
Next, okay.
Yeah, roll them all, and we'll see.
Roll day
how
day
long it takes
2.
you.
Yeah, oh,
2
damn.
days.
Damn.
So it'll take 2 days for you to get the answer to your questions. However, sorry. Well, I just want to move the focus for a moment onto Eddie, and I would like to know, at the beginning of this 1 week break, what's Eddie doing?
Eddie has actually been in the offices of Queen's Guard security, working.
Working.
Just overseeing
know.
the.
Overseeing what's going on, attending meetings. Sure, everything is above board. Projects are being done.
Things are looking good for Queensguard. The sort of like blowback that the company got following, you know, the last few actions that were done by the ex-CEO have practically all blown over.
And, new management help. Like we have new management helps a lot.
Yeah. In many cases, you've had, several customers that were willing to go see elsewhere, especially at the end of Ulfer's days, that are now, at first maybe begrudgingly, like, stayed. And for many of them, you have now, like, renewed contracts. There's a definite trust that is being reestablished between Queensguard and the customers that they had. In some places in the world, mostly in India, the customers you had over there have decided to leave completely, citing that that some of the things that apparently Wolf Security back then did was, illegal and probably immoral, and they've sent you, those that were in communications with your Indian customers sent you, like, emails with either newsreels or articles as attachments. It seemed like Wolf Security was operating in India around mostly archaeological dig sites, preventing people from going in, which is, what a security company would do normally, but also preventing people from going out. And sort of mostly keeping these academics and these researchers prisoners. The news reports are mostly vague, but you get the feeling that Ulfer was probably up to something over there, and, well, now he's dead. And with him gone, the firm that hired him sort of got rid of, ended the contract. These dig sites, by the way, they're still in operation. They still exist. It's just the security that is there is handled by, like, a local security company.
Oh, I think that bears investigation. Wait, who's gonna go with him? I think Kieran has to go with Eddie, and then we'll make our new samurai friend join us too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Yoshi. Yeah, he would have definitely been back with Morning back then.
Yeah, he just got back from Disney World, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a week ago. Quick question: did you give him his armor back?
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool. Then he will not mind following you along.
We are true to our word.
And he thanks you for it.
But maybe next time you should leave the acting to Kieran.
I did what I had to do.
Did you though? Did you have to?
I think a heart attack was a bit much.
It worked, didn't it? Hmm?
Said nothing. Thanks for coming.
Well, apparently I'm going to India with you now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We lost some business. We got to see what's going on down there. You reacquire business. Actually, you know what? Everybody should just come along.
Yeah, the more the
No
merrier.
research earlier. Yeah. Translation, we're going to probably need D's powers. I don't know. Is Finbar doing research?
Yeah, he's busy in research right now.
Okay.
I mean, it's 2 days alone on the orb, and the rest of the time is probably cracking what the rooster is. So,
Okay. Come along, D. Time to earn our paycheck.
All right. I think when you go get D, it's like she has been inside in this like computer room for maybe like most of the week.
Goodness,
So
you're very pale.
Hope this is important. I really don't want to get shot at, so hopefully it's not that sort of thing.
Oh, no. The possibility of getting shot at is very, very low for this one, I'd say.
What's that based on?
I don't know. Don't want to tell her she's going to get shot at.
We avoided being drowned, so at least, being shot won't be so bad.
All right. I'll get. I think the stuff can kind of take care of itself for a little while. She'll go back and see Finbar in the room.
I'll babysit the servers. I'll make sure that they're well taken care of.
If you smell, if there's going to be some weird sounds, it's not that they're broken. They're supposed to sound like that. Although if there's smoke, it's just giving.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Hopefully you can find something with that. Hopefully we all come back. Hopefully it's not like last one.
Hopefully it shouldn't be. By the time you're back, I should be able to figure out what this might be, and hopefully have information about that seal on the boxes as well.
I see if you can figure out about the box of rocks too.
If I can squeeze the time in, I will try.
Where in India do we have to go?
I will tell you that in a second. I think it's in northern India. Let me grab this. Let me grab my Google map. Yep, almost completely north of India in a region called Himachal Pradesh.
Oh, that looks mountainy.
Yes.
All right.
And you are the site, actually, if in case you want to know, is east of a town called Manali. And I apologize if I've massacred any of those pronunciations.
Okay, let's see over here. Yeah. Nice. Oh, it's chilly.
It is very much chilly.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that you're fairly high up in altitude, even at this time of year, like the snow on that covers the peaks of the mountains is pretty close to you. and that might be a little too stressful of a song.
That music is not inspiring confidence that this is a safe trip.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
I thought we were
it's
walking
fine.
onto the set of Alien or something.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
I mean,
business
this
trip
this is basically a for all like kidnapping / archaeological site. So
Yeah, I've
this is
I'm updating.
What was the name again?
Updating the song.
What was the name of where they're going?
A town called Manali. Manali.
Yeah, okay, I got that.
nothing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Himachal Pradesh. Yeah, okay. In English, the province of the snow-laden mountains.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking
Himachal
gorgeous.
Pradesh, yes.
It's a very, very beautiful place. And this should probably work as a song. So the four of you appear on the road to Manali. You're not too far from a few buildings on the south side of town. Behind you, quite a few ways, there is a what looks like a hospital surrounded by more hotels and B&Bs than you can count. Nearby, you can hear the sound of the river, of the Bias River, flowing down, and ahead of you is a bus stop, and then as you look up a bit, you see the rest of the town, about maybe at most half a mile away from you. When you look to the east, you can see there are roads going into the mountains, and the dig site that was mentioned in those articles would be in that area. It's a bit chilly, but looks pretty. Yoshi is just content to look around, still amazed that you guys can just teleport out of nowhere.
Oh, this is nice, but how are we gonna do this? We're gonna go in as management, or
They don't know us here.
So-
We could be anybody.
I mean,
No,
we
it's
you,
fine.
you- I
It
mean,
just be ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll just go in and we'll just say that, old security didn't do a proper audit before exiting the site. And no, we just want to make sure that we didn't leave any equipment or details unresolved.
or possibly kidnap researchers, that sort of thing, right?
Oh, yes.
Sure, she'll go fine.
veer away. Oh, did you teleport with like the car or something? Or are you on foot?
I don't know if that car's gonna be one.
Well, because taking the car, you can't really come back with it. You can take it there, but you can't come back with it.
I thought we were on foot.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on foot.
So you walk your way up. Let me just check how long it takes. On foot, it's 4 hours. So for the most part, we'll say you left, say around maybe noonish. So by the time you get there, afternoon's ending, sun's setting, but you're fairly high up in the mountains, so there will be light for a bit. The site that you find yourselves around is this at this altitude there is snow everywhere. You've started walking into the place where there's snow all year round. Not a whole lot, like up to like your ankles. It's getting colder. You're in this artificial clearing. Basically, the people that were operating the dig sort of cleared out a section of forest there. And you can see as you approach, aside from a parked... It's a car. It's got a like a logo on it of a sort of like a I think it's a shamshir. Yeah, like a curved sword that looks like a shamshir or a scimitar, and something written in Sanskrit. It looks to be this sort of like maybe like security vehicle from what you can get, unless one of you can speak every language in the world. I don't know if you have that power. But yeah, it looks pretty much like that. And the other cars that are there are basically, let's call them civilian cars. They're like parked in a row nearby. There's no like section that was cordoned off. So you can technically just walk into the dig site as you want. You do notice something a little bit odd, is that on the ground in some places, and it's very much like a pattern, like something was put there. There are deep grooves in like these square patterns, like something square-ish and heavy was set down there for a long time and then taken away. Because at this point, the road itself is mostly gravel, and the dig site is on the earth directly. It's on the soil. If you look at the clearing, you'll see there are like 3, let's call them important dig sites. So 3 areas where you see like these teams of academics going in and out of tents. Some of them walking down like in a pit that you can't see from where you are. But that is the description of the place. No one has paid attention to you arriving, not like you came in with a fanfare or anything. They're maybe still like at least like the closest person is probably like 100 feet away from you, so you could shout at them, but not necessarily like you can still make a bit of noise or talk among yourselves, and they won't notice you. Is what I meant. And I said Sanskrit, but it was in
Everyone remember the cover story. And, and say that use security firms much for branding. Look how aggressive that is. A sword. Security firm just rattles swords at people. Eddie's just going to look over the cars just to see if any of them stand out as a good getaway vehicle in case things go south.
Which one of these is the most?
I'd say, like, they're pretty much just your standard sedan. One of them has like a minivan. For the most part, I'd say half of them are 4-doors vehicle. None of them look like they are like all-wheel drives, or at least well suited for the rocky terrain that you're in. So you don't have like Jeeps or pickup trucks for that matter. It's all mostly just almost like city cars. You get the feeling that these researchers, these archaeologists, are probably just living in Manali, or like staying in Manali and just driving up, because by car it takes about like 20 minutes to get to where you are, because it's, let me convert it, it's 17 kilometers. Yeah, it's 10 miles.
If things go south, and Eddie's just going to look at the vehicles again. Which is the most expensive looking car?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, one of them clearly belongs to, like, probably like the professor in charge, or like whoever is like spearheading this this expedition, and it's a BMW. A BMW Series M, the sports one.
Ooh. All right. If things go south, make way for that Beamer. Feel free to say hi to the Beamer, by the way.
Yeah, make sure I can. It can go if we need it to. Hopefully, it's not like mean or anything like that.
And I think Eddie's also going to use his Journeys purview, and he's just going to see if there's an Axis Mundi within. I believe you can now sense it in 3 miles. We have 3 legend points now, right?
Yes. And there are no Axis Mundi around.
Oh, well, I guess that means we've only got one exit here. The Beamer.
Yeah, because right now, from where you are, the closest place that has like a doorway, I should have mentioned that earlier, is like 20 minutes on foot. It's like a half a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like small coffee shops / rest stop for people that are, you know, going maybe on hikes or something up the mountain.
Okay. Well, let's go say hi to this person over there. He's just going to nudge Karen ahead of him.
We will approach. Who are we approaching?
You are approaching if you're going for the closest person, it's a younger man, probably like early 20s, very, very dirty, in like his clothing at least, like covered in like dried mud and dust. And he's got like this sort of tool belt around his waist, with several, you know, tools, like there's like a rather like thick brush. There's a chisel. There's a little like small hammer, but there's also like a screwdriver, a tape measure. He, looking at him and his, you know, not fully grown mustache, you get the feeling he's like a student, or maybe like an intern. Not definitely doesn't scream like I am the person in charge.
Right.
And he was just going like from one tent to another when you approach him, so he looks a little startled as you approach.
Namaste. We're looking for the person in charge.
He replies in Hindi.
I have experienced traveler, which lets me know enough of the language to get by.
Cool. So you understand that he's saying basically you're not supposed to be here.
I mean,
If you're lost, and he points to like a tent that is slightly, like a few ways away from the three main dig sites. You get the feeling that it's probably to like make sure that you do not either fall down a hole or, you know, mess up something that they're digging. And by the way, the tent that he points at, like, it doesn't have anything special, and like, there's no symbol on it, there's no logo or what have you. Like, they're all these like off-white canvas tents.
Oh no, it's fine. We're supposed to be here. We're actually looking for the person who's in charge of this dig. I will tell him in Hindi.
Oh. Are you from the university?
We're with the security company.
He looks at the like security car that's parked a few ways away. Okay. Well, yeah, the same tent. The guys are in there. They're on break.
Thanks. He'll point the others to the tent, and he says the person we're supposed to be talking to is in there. We'll head that way.
All right. When you head into the tent, it's there's basically just a large picnic table set in the middle of it. At the far end of the tent, there's a small wood stove with a little chimney that goes out through the tent to a specially made hole so that the canvas doesn't burn. And in it right now are two people. It's a man and a woman. The man looks rather older, graying, curly hair, with liver spots on his face. A short, chin strap beard, no mustache, and he's dressed fairly plainly. You see that he has, covering most of his upper torso, is a reflective vest, and he's got these dark blue jeans. You see around his waist, it's clearly a security officer, because you have there is a pistol. There's what you're pretty sure is mace, and then tie wraps on the these That's what you call them, right? Tie wraps? Like the plastic stuff that you wrap. No, they're not tie wraps. They're zip ties. And he's currently just texting on his phone. The other person, so sitting across from him at the table, though a bit farther away from the entrance of the tent, like closer to the stove, is a woman. You figure probably in her 40s. She's definitely married, or at least you're fairly certain, according to their tradition. She has the red spot, but I don't remember the name for it right off the bat. Again, reflective vest, dressed fairly plainly. She has a scarf around her neck and gloves on her hands. And she's, as you enter, like probably trying to get signal with her phone, because she keeps like moving her phone about and like mumbling, which you pick up Kieran is like, fucking provider was supposed to get signal everywhere. This fucking, I'm paying $50 for this.
Sorry to interrupt you. Are the two of you, one of you, in charge of this dig site? We were told to come here.
They both look at you and almost in unison ask, are you from the university?
We're from the security company.
They look at each other, back at you.
Don't worry, we were cleared to be here.
I don't think so. We don't have white employees.
Well, we're not your employees now, are we? We're with the security company.
Yeah, that's us.
We're from a different division, clearly. Because we were definitely, we are supposed to be here. Believe me, I have clearance. Hold on. And he'll pull out the key and turn it into, I don't know, hit a phone that has, you know, something that signifies that they have directions to come here.
Okay. That's going to require a roll.
That's fine.
What I'll say is, because of your experienced traveler, and because you are, you know, you're not necessarily super fluent in Hindi, but definitely you sound like someone who spent enough time in India to be able to appear somewhat comfortable with the language. So it leads, you know, it gives some credence to your lie. So you'll get a +1 enhancement to that, thanks to that knack that you have. And so we'll go with manipulation and subterfuge.
Okay.
And so again, if you roll at least 1 success, you get +1 success because of the knack.
Right. Do I also get the deception complication +3 because I'm lying?
Let me check. That's on their empathy checks for you. So I would say at the moment they don't believe that you are not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
They're just unsure of who you are. What I would say though is if you do succeed, which you do with 6 successes, if you start acting unlike a security agent, then yes, they would make an empathy check to see like what the fuck's going on, and then yes, they would suffer those complications. But yeah, you show them the key,
credentials,
and they're just like, oh,
you might not have gotten the memo because, you know, there's just horrible service out here. But I mean, we were called in. There's better service in town. So, you know, just some miscommunication. So
Yeah, no, okay. They look at Yoshi, they look at Eddie and at D, back at you. They're like, okay, you don't have your uniforms?
Ah, we got called in quick, so we didn't have time to change. Sorry about that. I figure this is okay. We're not gonna, we're not gonna do anything too dusty, dangerous. We're just here for a quick check.
Oh, yeah, sure. We have nothing to report. Honestly, this place has been quiet, and they like look at each other and like chuckle a bit.
Be that as it may, Eddie,
Yes.
we came here specifically on certain concerns about the site.
Right. We want to make sure that our, our assigned crew didn't leave any of our proprietary equipment behind.
Yeah. If you want to look around, I mean, I'll just the man like pockets his phone and says, "I'll just go and let everyone know." He exits the tent.
Should we follow him?
Okay. Yes, let's make our exit and try to search this place as quickly as we can.
Is there any way you can get a read on this place to see if there's anywhere that seems to have particular amounts of energy?
Let's see. Do they have is this mostly an outdoor thing or is it a?
It's mostly an outdoor thing.
Okay, do they have those like those large area like illumination things? Like a big
the big spotlights?
Or the spotlights really are just like the big yeah.
They have some. They're not on at the moment because we're
it's during the day.
But yes,
Yeah.
2 of the dig sites have one.
Okay. I'll ask it. I'll just go up to it and just ask that. What areas are other than the which of the sites is most the activity being focused on? Like outside the basic of outside of let's say the she specifically says not like the tents, other than the tents and other than the places where they would rest, or which places have the most activity to it?
Everywhere. Very busy.
Everywhere.
Everyone going around, moving, walking, digging, and I don't see everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fairly busy.
Busy all the time, or busy day, night?
Some are busy during the day, and some are busy at night. Not the same people, though.
Were the people different, or were they all part of the dig, or were there people at either one that weren't part of the dig? The people that are here all the time. Has there been any unusual people other than ourselves, of course?
There are people, and then there are people.
What do you mean by people?
The first or the second?
Second.
Oh. They look like people, but they're not people. And they don't like me. They avoid me.
What do they look like if not people? People.
They look like people sometimes.
What was unusual about them? Anything in particular? How do they not look like everyone else here? Or how they feel, not feel?
They sometimes, but not always.
Mhm.
No one is looking. They have a strange face, like teeth. And you get the feeling that the spirit inside this spotlight is like lacks the vocabulary.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
It probably
it's
picked up words from people talking
Mhm.
around, so it understands certain concepts, but not
Okay.
everything.
Yeah. Well, that's very helpful. Which site have they been? Is there a particular spot that they have been interested in that they've been going to?
Not the one I'm at,
Mm-hmm.
and not the one my cousin is at. The other one.
Which direction is your cousin, and which direction is the other one?
You get the feeling the cousin is the other spotlight.
Okay, so not the other one. Okay.
So it's basically the dig that doesn't have
Okay.
any lights outside, if you will.
Okay. Well, I think that's good enough. Well, thank you very much. You've been very helpful. You've been doing a good job here. And she'll walk back to the group. Well, that was helpful. So yeah, there are definitely weird things happening. The spotlight seemed to notice that they were unusual things, mostly like people that weren't people. They look like people, but they weren't. Their faces would change. It just didn't really know or couldn't vocalize what that was. And that they've been going to, she'll point in the direction of the dig site, going over there.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, it does. I mean, lends credence that there's something here that's valuable or that would warrant, having a security team kind of off the books happening. I don't like the people that look like people but aren't people thing. Honestly, that could be a lot of things.
That sounds downright horrible. But I suppose we should check it out.
I mean, it could be something like, I'm, she'll kind of swish her head like, people would not look like people sort of thing. But I'm most like it's probably something probably worse. Hopefully it's not, but at least we know a little bit.
Fine, that's why we brought Yoshi.
Are you gonna feed me to those people, not people?
Well, no, you're gonna beat them up.
Oh. You didn't tell me I was coming here to inflict violence. But
You can just assume that from now on.
Well, I mean, we certainly didn't bring you here to do data entry. That's what his real job was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fairly boring job.
Huh?
Well, this is much more exciting, I'm sure.
We'll see. We shall see. And you head on to the third dig site, which is so compared to the one where you were just at D, because spending time with the spotlight, you sort of hung out near the pit that was dug up.
Yeah.
The pit where you were is probably, I'd say, like maybe 20 feet to a side.
Okay.
Whereas the other one is decidedly smaller. It is dug like slightly diagonally. Like they started digging something, probably found something, and expanded, that area, and then uncovered what looks to be like a burial chamber.
Cool.
All that you see in the pit is this like stone arch, the door to which is about 4 feet high, and I'd say maybe like 2 feet wide. It is completely dark inside. There is a generator nearby with cables going from the generator and snaking their way down the pit and into this like burial chamber.
All right. I don't really like this. Had very good luck with things, tunnels into the earth and that sort of thing.
At least it's not raining.
Yeah. Don't remember that again. But
Right.
that thing is... And it's a tight space. Great.
It's just a little old tunnel. It's the worst that could happen.
We all die in the tunnel?
And he just rolls up his sleeves and he's just going to roll up his sleeves and start descending into the tunnel.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. Well,
we'll pause on that for a moment. Head on over to Finbar. Now I'm going to ping pong through time and space because I know Finbar is like 2 days in the future for you.
We are all dead. We're all dead in the future.
Yeah, 2 days later, everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead.
No, you, Finbar, you have finally managed to figure out just what the hell this is. And hell is probably an apt word. Not necessarily hell itself. This orb is a piece of Hades.
Hades' location or of the
Hades'
deity?
Location. the underworld.
So you're like
We got one of Hades' balls? Is that what you're telling me?
Hey, it could have been it could be the gallbladder for all I know.
This used to be part of Cerberus until it got spayed or neutered. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, do not tell T what that was.
No. Ooh, my bad. It is a the other name that was given to it is the Chthonian orb.
Chthonian orb. Okay.
And in total, there are 3 of them. Each, you believe, is tied to one of the judges of the underworld. Because as far as your research was able to dig up, sorry.
Shoot.
Thank you. The Chthonian orbs are probably possessions, or even, and it's a long shot, but they might even be the keys that each judge of the underworld has that allows someone to progress further. In fact, normally the judge would allow a soul through and use the key to open a door. Now, if this is a key, it means that someone in possession of a Chthonian orb can just breeze through at least one section of the underworld. And as far as your research has gotten, you're not quite sure who of the 3 the orb would belong to. Their names, if you need them: Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Achis.
Rhadamanthus and Achis?
I'll put them in the Zoom chat also, because it's easier that way, so you can copy paste it.
Alright. Oh, I wasn't too far off on my spelling guesses.
So from
Interesting.
From what you gather, normally Achis was the one that held the keys. Though each god also, each judge, also has one.
But Achis was the primary key keeper.
Yeah, and those judges, they govern almost like sections of the living world. In the sense that they will judge, for instance, Achis would judge European souls. Rhadamanthus was the judge of what we would say Asian souls. Anyone born, that was born east of Greece, if you will. And then the other one was west of Greece. So I say European, but it would also be African and even American souls.
So one was Orient, one was Occident, and the other one was kind of in between.
The other one was the final judge. The thing that's kind of weird is, yes, Orient, Occident, but at the same time, it's Orient and Occident so long as they believed in that pantheon.
Yeah.
And that they worshipped that pantheon. So I feel like one of the judges didn't have a whole lot of work.
Yeah. I was just using that as a directional thing, not a colonial thing or anything. Just give a general idea of one side versus eastern, western, blah blah blah. Okay, just to get it in my mind.
And then the last one is, of course, the King Minos.
Yeah. Of legend and myth and lore.
Yeah, the dude with the cow and everything. As far as you know, these orbs only work in the underworld. They have no power outside of it.
Mhm.
And in fact, for the most part, should be completely inert.
So outside of the inner world would be more of a collector's item rather than a vestige of power or anything like that. As far as we know, anyway.
Mhm.
Interesting. Now the question is, are the other two out and about here in the upper world, or did this one get taken out on its own? And if so, why? I guess time will remain to be seen what we find out on that. Okay, I guess the rest of the time would be spent on either the rooster symbol or, if time allows, trying to do more research on these alphabet bricks that we found.
I'd say give me a check for those alphabets, because you can probably squeeze it in among the rest of the research that you're doing.
Right. Okay, here we go.
Well, that's enough.
Okay.
Runes were used for various things, mostly alphabet. I mean, it was the written text back then. But these ones specifically aren't so much used for writing as much as they are used to communicate with the gods. Imagine this as a giant DIY Ouija board. That could allow someone to speak with the Allfather.
So one song for the Allfather, one for Thor, one for Tyre, one for
in fact,
Freya. Kind of that kind of.
No, actually, these, from what you gather, it's when you there's a tiny part missing, which maybe Kieran was right, and it requires blood of a Scion of that pantheon. But these letters would form words. So a bit like with a Ouija board, you could ask a question to Odin, and then somehow the answer would be spelled out among the runes.
Ah, gotcha.
The way the runes need to be placed, however, is in a perfect circular alignment.
Okay.
And they only work under the light of the full moon.
Okay.
So you've got about 3 days a month where you can use them.
Where they can be used.
Yeah. So fairly
All
narrow.
right. Yeah, fairly narrow. But at this point, we don't know what other activating thing there would be if there is one.
No, that's it. The what you found as information about them is they've come up a few times in like almost like as throwaway lines in older epics and poems. In some ancient songs as well, and in some records of like Romans that interacted with, back then would have been Vikings mostly outside of Scandinavia. It seemed like while just any like soothsayer could cast runes and interpret the results, this specific set was kept for like what you could call like an archpriest.
Specific oracle kind of thing.
Yeah, they used to be kept apparently in one of the stave churches. One that has burnt down, 1,000 years ago, and the stones just disappeared after that. That the church itself would be where the like the city of Oslo is nowadays. But like, I mean, it burned down in like 1076, and it would be a fair assumption to say that perhaps like people just picked the stones because they needed them to like repair their own houses later on or what have you, and just use them for like purposes that weren't their intended purpose.
Right.
And it would also make sense that, the archpriest, let's say, of Odin be an actual Scion who could use them to call their dad. Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what it is.
Okay. Interesting. So, either Kieran could possibly be of help in activating this if we were to try, but then that's something we can worry about when my intrepid friends return. Otherwise, let's get back to deciphering the rooster and maybe do some research to make sure we know the proper way to arrange and align these things.
Well, flashback to 2 days ago. Back in northern India, a group of 4 godlings are facing this darkened, half-unburied tomb. There's an aura of malaise coming from that entrance. The more you stare into it, the more ominous it seems. Maybe because it's just cramped. I mean, it's like 4 feet by 2 feet. It's under like about 10 or 12 feet of soil. Doesn't look like the kind of place you would want to hang out in necessarily. So what do you do?
I mean, we go forward. Hopefully, we don't get stuck.
Yeah, now that we're inside, what do we find?
Yeah, Eddie's leading the way, and he's got a flashlight on.
The first room that you're in is this dusty antechamber. Square in size. By the way, the ceiling is 5 feet and a couple of inches. So anyone taller than that, you're gonna have to...
Ha!
Yup. Um, the room itself is devoid of markings, paintings. You see through the light of your flashlight that there had been some before. Probably that the researchers took some of those with them, or maybe that it just broke down. You know, engravings were, I don't know, through time,
Mhm.
broken, maybe by accident, maybe by tomb robbers. Who knows? This room actually has the like a small floodlight. That's what the cables running from the generator were connected to. There's another room down at the like far end of this one. You need to step down about like 3 steps
Mhm.
before getting into that room, and the threshold of that room,
Mhm.
in the light of your flashlight, you can clearly see that it's got markings alongside it, like if a giant cat decided to like do their claws on that threshold. And it is, similarly to the entrance, dark and foreboding.
I'm not just reading too much into this and getting a little, those look like claw marks, right?
Definitely claw marks.
Good, good. Claw marks. I I hope we're not looking at were tigers or something like that. I really.
This place is too small for were tigers. Maybe a were goose or something.
No.
Never known a goose to leave scratches like that.
We've already done it. The were-goose was already done.
Little like beak bite marks everywhere. No.
Somehow I'm less scared of the tiger than I would be of a goose. There's no way forward but forward, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's the spirit, Kieran.
All right, let's go. Let's.
You enter the room, and inside are hundreds of broken bones. It seems that the researchers have started to like catalog them, because some
Okay.
have been like cordoned off with like these little nails and a tiny little rope, with like placards next to them. Some were actually put in a pile. You doubt that the piles were made already. The room has this, I'll call it an after smell, like an aftertaste of poop, of what you would expect to smell. It's going to be maybe a gross image, but what would you expect to smell when you break into a puppy mill?
Oh no.
But it's been open for a while, so most of that odor has wafted away, but you can still smell it. Blood, shit, mildew, and even ammonia. but there are no traces of a cat or a were-tiger or a were-goose for that matter.
I guess Eddie is just going to start peering over the bones and see if there's any sort of pattern or organization to them.
Without a check, I will give you this. The marrow was sucked out of all of them.
Important question.
Okay.
How old do these bones look? How old are these bones?
Very old. We're talking they are bleached white by now.
Okay, that's good.
There is no, like, yellowing or discoloration left.
This
Oh.
is... Eddie,
Probably
this is...
happened a long time ago, so we maybe not even have to worry.
Yeah, although it's weird, right, that a dig with like bones smells like this, right? It's not supposed to smell like this, right?
I would expect it to be a little bit wouldn't smell as much because I would hope that this wasn't very recent. But
I mean, this is it's not recent, but it's still.
Smells like somebody got cask of Amontillado in here. Like a lot of somebody's. Am I stupid, or should bones not be bleached if they've never seen the sun?
No, I don't think so.
Eddie's just going to shine the flashlight on the walls. Anything there in particular? Markings other than claw marks?
Yeah, there are. They're kind of, almost faded over time, like they were carved into the wall. But imagine if someone had, like, repeatedly scratched away layers of the wall so that the carvings were getting, like, shallower and shallower, and at this point it's almost like at the same level. It's almost smoothed out. There is writing, this time, yes, in Sanskrit.
Would my experienced traveler knack help to translate that?
No, because the way I see it, it's social Morse behavior in language. So I think it's just when interacting with people. But that the written language is not. There is a sage knack that does it, though.
She's gonna put her hand on the wall and she's gonna ask it, "What happened here? Were these claw marks recent?"
The spirit of this place is definitely in an immense amount of torment.
Ooh, okay. Ooh.
Your head begins to spin as it tries to answer. All that you see, because it communicates with flashes of, like, images.
Yeah.
There are about, like, maybe 6 or 8 people, men, all of them. They're barely wearing anything. Their torso and arms are covered in tattoos or ink or maybe, like, paint.
Mm-hmm.
and they are forcibly dragging someone inside this tomb. The person, of course, they're all images, so there's no sound. The person seems to be screaming, but you notice that from their features, their head is not completely human. They almost have like a snout. Almost. But imagine it's a... Imagine like a lion's muzzle.
Yeah.
But instead of being covered with fur and having like the black, nose that a lion would have, it's just flesh like a human. All of their teeth are razor sharp needles. And their eyes are those of a cat. And they have these, how do you call that part here? The cheekbones. The cheekbones are, like, bigger. And, like, they pop out more and almost upward a little. They look like they're almost like little horns.
Okay.
Under their eyes. Though it doesn't pierce the skin directly. And they have this sort of like thick mustache, like that reaches up to the side. I don't remember how you call that.
Yeah,
but it goes like
yeah.
They're not mutton chops, but you know which one I'm talking about. Of black hair. Similarly, they have semi-long black hair, but it's like all matted, as if the person has never like washed their hair ever. And as they're being dragged in, you can see they're wearing this sort of dark red I guess I'll say like a shirt and pants, but it could also maybe be a robe, a sort of like intricate ceremonial vestment. And they're being dragged in forcibly by these 6 people who throw the person against the back wall. And as they do so, you see the writing, the Sanskrit writing on the wall begins to glow. Bright light. This deformed person hides their face from the light. And as the 6 others are like hurrying to leave, you just see the door of the tomb seal. And in complete darkness, just 2 cat eyes. And we're gonna end on that today.
Uh-oh. It's a bad place. It's a real bad place.
Would you expect Ulfer to have gone after nice places?
No, absolutely not. D just, I think once she gets that reach, she just like she like clutches her head and just kind of like removes her hand like it was like burning hot, that sort of thing.
For the 3 other, Yoshi included, while D was communicating with the tomb, when D, you saw the Sanskrit lit up, everyone else in the tomb, you saw like a faint outline glow of these letters. Like they are now apparent.
Cool.
And then when D, you stopped having the visions, then the light dimmed out. Hey, hope you had fun.
Fabulous.
Very interesting.
Oh boy.
I'm going to have to do some more research on my Greco-Roman mythology.
Even if we don't get service down here, is it possible for us to have snapped a picture of the Sanskrit when it was lit up?
Yeah. Yeah, because it lasted like I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds. So you got enough time to whip your phone out and just
Cool.
Click, 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 click.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's not impossible.
That's what you get for deciding to talk to like, Sanskrit tune wall with like claw marks. Of course it's gonna be something like that.
This place looks awful. Did something awful happen here? Let me investigate.
What was your first
It
clue?
smells like viscera.
It smells like death in here.
Other than claw marks and
there's
weird
bones.
smells and
There's bones
marrowless
with-
bones and stuff like that, what makes you suspicious anything's going on?
Not just bones, but bones with what was it? The marrow.
The marrow
Yeah,
sucked out.
Sucked out. Oh God.
And by the way, do you know what the other way to bleach bones is if they never see the sun?
Hmm.
Is to just
All of them?
keep eating. Huh?
Swallow them and let them pass through your digestive tract.
There's that. Or like beetles will do, is just eat everything on it repeatedly.
Yeah. Until it gets down to nothing but the calcium.
Yeah.
Good.
These bones
Good stuff.
were literally sucked dry from the marrow inside, but from anything that would have been on the outside too.
Good place.
So
They brought
glad
the
we're
right
here
group
in
of
the
people
bone
with
pit.
us.
This is a good place
We're in the
to
bone
be.
pit. Yeah, the bone pit is very good. The bone pit is.
I'm glad we didn't leave anybody outside to make sure we didn't get sealed in the bone pit.
You
Yoshi,
never
come.
saw any-
I don't like that silence.
Yoshi, we're going to go to a place. It's like, are we going to go? No. Terrible tomb.
You're an accountant, right? Come with us to the bone pit. Sounds like
Oh, and I've noted it down in my notes, but the thing that you talked about before the stream, Anino, about James Bacon, that's going to happen at the end of that week.
Okay, no problem.
I did not know what you would do over the course of the week, so I was like, oh,
We will go into a bone pit.
This is gonna be like once we get out of this, like every time that like D is asked to go someplace, like what's the worst that could happen? Oh, we could be in the terrible viscera
let's go
pit.
back to the bone zone.
but thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Hey, by the way, today no one failed any checks.
Yeah.
Good.
Yay.
Like,
Because only one of us actually rolled.
well, it was
Actually, two of us.
Yeah, it was a research, a information gathering
And
heavy
then-
episode.
Yeah. Helps that I'm high on both
Yeah.
intellect and occult.
We got a lot of information. We have
Yep.
so much information about this.
Full page of it right here.
Good underworld thing, and then this terrible bone pit.
It's funny because every time I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do something about their deeds, and then y'all just immediately uncover like the beginning of like 5 different like hooks that I have.
We're
I mean,
good
I think-
that way.
I think D got a couple days worth of like work done.
Mhm.
I mean, the computer room is
Yeah,
self-sufficient.
Hey, you got to remember, Simon. We're not lasers here. We're sawed-off shotguns.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't help that if we were to run out of this tunnel, we have to run like this, like some of us.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't know how tall each one of you is, but definitely you're gonna have to sort of exit sideways, almost.
He's lucky. She's tiny.
Yeah, he's maybe.
But
He could also turn to a fox if things got real
Even
messed up
tinier.
in here.
There you go.
Real messed up. It's like
because Yoshi's not that tall, but he still has to like he's
still like
he's like
not
5'7".
small enough. Yeah, not small enough to like this. This is
Oh, no,
like
the place was meant to like not be easy to get out of.
that's
Oh, good.
that's my thought. Yeah, it's like yes. Good. I'm also glad that there are like not people running around looking at this thing. I don't know what that.
We'll see. But hey,
We'll
let's
see.
do outros. I'll keep myself for
Oh,
last.
fuck.
We'll do same order as we did the
Shit.
intros, starting with Eddie, Mr. CEO. Hi.
Cool.
Hope you had fun.
How's it going, everyone? I did. No regrets. Spelled incorrectly.
No
My name's
regrets.
Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Next Tuesday, tune into this channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the second episode of Tomorrow on Revelation 3, a dystopian space TTRPG GM'd by Sarah of Swords. And then back again on this channel on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, excuse me, for Sentinels, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Dresden Files.
Next up, Hannah.
I am Hannah, Karen, and I did some research today, and I found out that I hate this. So we all were accomplished today, but no. I'm Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art or on Instagram and Facebook at Hanimation Studios, and you will find me back here. Robert's got some of my charms there.
Advertising some of your great work.
My Skyrim charms. You can find me back here next Thursday for Sentinels, as Anino mentioned, and Friday for Dresden Files, as Anino mentioned. So lots of fun things coming up.
And next on the Overlay, Finbar.
All right, I am Robert, or Kentucky Haka. You can find me on my Twitch channel. Monday nights is Family Night at the Emporium. My daughter Bonnie and I are currently doing a series, Hercule Poirot, the first cases. We're in the middle of a case that started as a blackmail against a bride-to-be that is now turned into murder. So we're trying to solve this case, putting our gray cells to use along with Hercule Poirot. Tuesday nights will be Grappler's Keep, my WW2K20 universe, where a number of DMs, JMs, and RPG players from across the Switch universe compete in a ring that we lovingly call the Dice Tray. We're getting ready for our next pay-per-view here, Winter Wonderland, which will take place outdoors in, I believe it's Green Bay, Wisconsin is where we're going to be doing that at, and we're working our way towards that. Simon, our DM here, is our current Master of Melee, our men's champion, and we have both Hannah and Radian are competitors, and they're actually going to be part of a new tag team that may get a push for the title here soon. They are the Daughters of Divinity, and they may be having some title aspirations here soon, and other things going on there. And then on Wednesday nights is the weekly Skyrim serial, where I have a character, Zarzar Tintaroth. He is an ancient Falmer or snow elf who has returned to the land of his home, and now he is working his way through the Dark Brotherhood series of events. He's going to be a completionist character, and we call it the Random Legacy because every decision he makes in conversation with people are decided by a roll of this nice little D12 that I keep next to me here. So, and then Saturdays, of course, here for Scion, along with all of the gang here. Otherwise, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG fanboy by night.
And last but not least today, D.
Hey, I'm Lynn, Gremlin Art on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, every place else like that, where you can find my art and what I'm doing throughout the week, including on Tuesday on twitch.tv.amphitheater. We're going to be having a feast on our Redwall campaign. We've gone out for a successful fishing trip, brought back some things, and there's going to be some matchmaking happening. Disastrous, definitely. And actually, on Friday, it's going to be on retail. It's going to be the first session of the West Marches style thing. Each week, it's going to be a different group for a Blue Rose campaigns, and we're going to be kicking off on Friday. It's going to be the first group that goes through. Curious to get that. Probably going to be a giant cat, so that should be fun.
thank you, players, for coming today. Thank you, everyone who hung out in chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time of your Saturday to watch our Godlings. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. You can find me again on this very channel on Thursday for Sentinels of the Multiverse, and then on Friday for the Dresden Files at 8:30 p.m. for Thursday and 9 p.m. for Friday, and then back here next Saturday for the Cask of Montedolo, featuring all of these players. So we'll have fun.
For the love of God, Fortunato.
So have a good weekend, everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.